We have the honor and the pleasure of having with us tonight a very prominent rabbi in the neighborhood, one of the pillars of the community, the rabbi of the shul over here, Magen Avraham, the author of Sefer Ma'afar Kumi, a couple of other Sfarim, Baruch Hashem. Rabbi Ronen Shaharabani is going to come and join us and say a few words. Hashem, Arav.
Rabbi Ma'o said it was a pleasure and an honor to invite me to speak. But the truth is that for me to come here and to see what's going on here firsthand, everyone hears about it. This class, Thursday night, in Mill Basin, flyers go out, statuses on WhatsApp by many, many people. But I didn't have the zchut till tonight to actually come. Talk about an honor and a pleasure. I moved to Mill Basin when I was in the 8th grade. We're talking about in the 90s. And until now, something like this didn't exist. A shiur for the young adults, the men and the women of the community. It never happened before. You had shiurim that the older men used to go to. You had maybe shiurim that some of the older women used to go to. But the youth, the young adults, they were neglected. And there's a ma'amar chazal that says, "B'makom she'en ish, tiye ish." When there's no one to do a job, you don't say, "Who am I? I'm going to go and stick my head between the mountains. I'm going to go and take action and do something that hasn't been done." If it hasn't been done, it's probably for a reason. Maybe it can't be done. Maybe someone tried and they failed. Who am I to try? So for 20-something years, no one did anything. No one started anything. But guess what people did do? I'm sure everyone spoke. Everyone talked. I'm sure, because I heard the conversations. You know what? Someone should start a shiur for the young adults. You know what? There's so many young guys. They would love to learn Torah. Someone's got to bring them in. Someone's got to address them. Someone's got to deal with the next generation, to bring up the next generation of Avdei Hashem. You know how many conversations like that probably happened the last 25 years? Probably hundreds, by many, many people. But guess what it all amounted to? Zero. You know why? Because there's people who talk, and then there's people who take action. If you want to emulate someone in life, don't ever emulate the guy who knows how to talk. I could come up here and I could talk. That's not why you should emulate someone. Talk is cheap. It's easy to talk. You could be a millionaire in words. You have the best business ideas in the world. You could be a gaon in words. But you know who you should emulate? You know what's the badge of success? A person who takes action. Someone who just knows how to talk but never pulls the trigger, never goes up to the plate and takes the bat to actually take a swing. It's a risk. Maybe he'll get struck out. Maybe he'll make a fool out of himself. Maybe everyone will look and say, who's this guy? He's going to think he's going to do it. But the guy who steps up to the plate, the guy who takes action, that's someone worthy of admiring. And letzarenu, no one really took action till someone came around out of nowhere and surprised us all. And you know what? It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your history, your background, where you came from. You know what? The only thing that matters is where you're going. And if you see a guy going up a mountain, go after him. If you see a guy on his couch just yapping and talking, stay away from him. If he's on the couch, he's probably gaining weight and his brain cells are rotting. The guy who's climbing the mountain, that's the guy you want to follow. So Baruch Hashem, this community was zocheh, this shiur, everyone here, you have a zchut that there's a person who comes here every week and he came here because he made a decision. He came here because he had a passion. He came here because he felt there was a need, a void to fill, but he didn't just talk. He did something about it. He organized it. He planned it. He did. And look at the fruits. Look what's going on. What if the action wasn't taken? How many people wouldn't be learning Torah? The ripple effect of this shiur on families to come, generations, it's untold. No one will ever know. That's something we only see in Shamayim, the effect of our actions. So Baruch Hashem, that's something that I personally look up to Ma'or for, Rabbi Ma'or. I personally admire the yozma, the ability to take action and not care about what anyone says, not look at what people are going to talk and say, and not care about the fear of failure. It doesn't matter. That's a tremendous lesson. And Be'emet, Chazak u'Baruch for taking care of this community. You're talking about a pillar of a community. You know what a pillar is? In the real world, a pillar is not something that just a building stands on. It's not enough to be a rock. You have to make the building grow. The real pillar is the guy who adds a floor to the building. He makes the building bigger. It's not enough. He always wants to add another floor. He always wants the building to reach to a higher level. A person who has a thirst to grow. And that's really what we see. Be'ezrat Hashem, Baruch Hashem. So Chazak u'Baruch, Rabbi Ma'or, it's a tremendous pleasure for me to see that this shiur is occurring in our community. And it's an honor for me to be able to share Divrei Torah with everyone here. So the truth is, there's something big right around the corner. Right around the corner, Motzei Shabbat, we have Rosh Chodesh Elul. And Rosh Chodesh Elul can sound a little bit intimidating. Rosh Hashanah is coming. Yom Kippurim is coming. It's a serious time. The jokes are over. A person has to start thinking, you know what, Rosh Hashanah, what's going to happen? What's going to be decided upon us? The Jewish nation, we're in turmoil. Who knows what's going to be in the next year? So it's a time someone could start getting a little bit scared. And that could drive us away from understanding the essence of really what Chodesh Elul is. What is the month of Elul? So the truth is, anyone who actually connected to Elul the right way will fall in love with this month. You know why? Because it's a day, it's a month where a person can actually be reborn, where a person can recreate himself in the way he chooses. You see, it's a very big misconception. When you go over to someone or you look in the mirror and you ask yourself, how much of what I see did I choose? Did a person choose his height? No. Did a person choose his eye color? No. Did he choose his hair color? No. Did he choose the color of his skin? No. Did he even choose his name? No. What did he choose? You're looking at a human being, you chose nothing. But guess what? You may not choose how you look, or maybe even what your name is, but you could choose to create yourself and live the life and become the person you want to be. And Chodesh Elul is the magic time where we have that ability to recreate ourselves, to give us a resurrection, to create the person the way we see we want to live, not the way that's dictated towards by us, by other people. Chodesh Elul. So I want to share a message that could potentially change around our entire Chodesh Elul. And if our Elul changes, guess what's going to change? Our whole year is going to change. And if 1 year changes, that could be the seed to change our entire life. We know, we were told that there's something called a Yetzer Hara. What is the Yetzer Hara? The evil inclination. That's the way we translate it. It's an inner urge, it's an inner inclination that draws us to bad things. That's the Yetzer Hara. But we also have a Yetzer Tov, a good inclination. Now let's be honest. Who are we more familiar with? The Yetzer Hara or the Yetzer Tov? Who do we know more? Who do we hear from more? People are starting to smile. Who do we know? Yetzer Hara, right? Everyone's thinking that. You just had the guts to say it. The Yetzer Hara. Now, what is this Yetzer Hara? The Yetzer Hara is this inclination that makes us feel desires to bad things, to sins that we know we shouldn't be doing. It gives us a feeling of temptation, lust, revenge, bad midot, to speak lashon hara, to do all the things that are not allowed. It makes us feel an urge to do it. That's the evil inclination. And there's also a good inclination. You know that inclination that says, you know what, tomorrow I want to wake up extra early to learn Torah before I go pray. Oh, I can't wait to stay up extra early, to stay up extra late to learn Torah. I can't wait to give charity. I can't wait to do all these mitzvot. I feel so tempted. I have a desire. Do we feel that desire so often? Which desires do we feel more often? The desire for bad, for sin, or the desire to do good? Look around. It's much easier to be bad. It's much easier to go after our temptations than it is to do good. You want a proof? A person can look at one image and all of a sudden his entire essence will have a temptation for something bad. But we could take the Sefer Torah out over here and put it here. Is anyone going to feel some type of desire? They're going to look at it. It's not going to talk to them. Okay, so I saw a Sefer Torah. That means now I have a desire to learn 8 hours? No. So what's going on over here? We have a God who loves us, and he gives us freedom of choice. But he's not so fair. You know why? Because he gives us this evil inclination that seems to be like a Siamese twin. No matter where I go, he's always with me. No matter what happens, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad, he's always there. He's always tempting me to speak lashon hara. He's tempting me to look at things I shouldn't be looking at. He's tempting me to do actions I shouldn't be doing. And I hear from him day and night. He doesn't leave me alone. All day long, the Yetzer Hara is bothering me. He's nudging me to do bad things. And I feel this inner urge and temptation. And then this Yetzer Tov that they speak about, I don't know, the rabbis always tell me the Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Tov. We don't hear from him. Where is he? How come I don't have the same desires to learn? How come I don't wake up with the same lust to go after the Torah and to run after mitzvot? Why is this fair? How could it be? What's going on over here? So, Rav Yitzchak Blazer was one of the big Baalei Musar of the last generations. And he asked this question. How could it be fair if we have a Yetzer Hara that appears to be 1,000 times stronger than the Yetzer Tov? It's not fair to us. What does God want? Why is he doing this to us? Anyone who wants to get closer to God, he knows that he has a lot of battles. There's a lot of ups and downs. Life is a roller coaster. One day you're on the fly, you're going high, you have a good cheshek, but then you can go into a rut where all you feel is like you want to do bad things, you want to not kill anyone, but things you know we shouldn't be allowed to do, we're not allowed to do. Why is that fair? What's going on here? So says Rav Yitzchak Blazer, he says there are different people with different temperaments. You ever met someone who always gets angry? There's some people, they have a very short fuse. No matter what happens, they find a reason to get angry. They're always agitated, they're always irritated. You say something the wrong way, he interprets it, he gets angry. You move the cup the wrong way, he gets angry. Every little thing, the guy gets angry. Okay, he's a Baal Kas, that's what we call him in Hebrew. Guy with a hot temper. But then you have a guy who's the exact opposite. He's a patient guy. He's humble, he's calm, he's soft-spoken. You never see the guy angry. You know some people that you feel like, I can never picture this guy getting angry, right? All the people you say it to, they laugh, because they know at home they get angry. But outside, they know how to show that they never get angry. But there's some people, they just don't have that temperament. They're not inclined to get angry. They don't get angry often. But sometimes they do get angry. Once in a blue moon, something will happen, and then they get angry. And when these type of people get angry, The ones that never almost get angry. But that few times when they do get angry, what happens? Then they actually go crazy. They blow their top. When they have an anger, because it's not often, but when they have an anger, their anger exceeds the anger of the guy who always gets angry. The guy who always gets angry, he's agitated, he's irritated, but he doesn't go insane or else he'll collapse. So he's angry, he's constantly angry. The guy who's never angry, that one time a year he gets angry, he goes nuts. He goes crazy. Says Rav Blazer, this is the Yetzer Hara and this is the Yetzer Tov. The Yetzer Hara is like that guy who always gets angry. He's active, he's awake, he's always there. One day he's pushing you to do this. One day he's pushing you to look here. One day he's pushing you to talk something you're not allowed to. One day he's pushing you to do different averot. He's always awake. He's always pushing us to do something. He's like the guy who always gets angry. And then you have another Yetzer. He says the Yetzer Tov. I want to read you these words because if not for him, you're not even allowed to say such a thing. He says, Ulam, ההבדל הוא, the difference between the יצר הטוב and the יצר הרע, שהיצר הרע יעשה מעשהו בלי שום מעורר. The יצר הרע will come to you and do his job without anyone waking him up to do it. He's alive, he's awake, and he comes to you. He takes action. כמו העין רואה והלב חומד. All it takes is for you to see one thing, you're done. He came to you and he's going to conquer you. He's going to attack you. אולם היצר הטוב, but this יצר הטוב, מעצמו לא יעשה כלום. On his own, he doesn't take action. He doesn't do anything. שוכב נרדם בחיק ההצלה. He's sleeping and he's lazy. Rav Blazer says the יצר הטוב is lazy. He's tired. He's sleeping. ולא יעשה מאומה. He does nothing. יניח לאדם ללך בשרירות ליבו. He will allow a person to go after all his heart's desires. You ever saw a lion? What does the male lion like to do? Does he hunt? The male lion never hunts usually. Who hunts? The female lion, the lioness. She's hunting. Even the way Hashem created the lion, the male has the mane, right? The mane, if you're a hunter, it's not a good thing. It covers your eyesight. You ever drove with a big hoodie that has like a lot of fur? You can't even see left or right. It's not good. You have to have open peripheral vision. The female lion, because she's the hunter, she doesn't have the mane because she has to be aware. She has to see where if there's attackers coming from the side. The male doesn't do the hunting, so Hashem gave him a mane. The only time he gets involved is if someone bothers him or he sees the lioness can't handle the situation. Then he gets up. But guess what? That lion is lazy. He likes to bathe in the sun. He likes to sit there and do nothing. Let the woman go and do all the work. She's going to hunt. And guess who eats first? The male. She brings the animal. He goes and he eats first. Whatever scraps are left, he lets her take with the kids. This is the lion. This is who we look up to. Yitgaber ke'ari. Okay, a lot of men are like this too, no? So now you have a lion. You look at this lion, you're like, wow, this is the king of the jungle. Look how strong he is. Look how fierce he is. Look at his teeth. Look at his paws. Oh, he could destroy anyone. But he doesn't actually fight. It's an unbelievable paradox. You have the king of the jungle, who's the laziest animal. He sits in the sun and does nothing and lets his wife, his lioness, she does all the hunting. This is a king. Hashem gave us this dimyon so we can understand what the Yetzer HaTov is. The Yetzer Hara is like a hyena. Every second you hear him, he's screaming. He's always there. He's an opportunistic hunter. He's always there to just steal all the carcasses that everyone else hunted. But he makes a lot of noise. You ever heard of hyena? They say he laughs like a hyena. Makes a lot of noise. Yetzer Hara makes noise. He wants you to sin. He comes to you all the time, doesn't leave you alone. And then you got the lion. You have this ferocious animal who's lazy, and he sits there, does nothing. But guess what? If you go over to this lion and you start poking him, what's going to happen? Maybe the first time he won't get up, he's lazy, he's very comfortable. But if you continue poking him, eventually that lion will wake up and he's going to devour you. He's going to destroy you. He's really the king of the jungle. But to wake up the king, you got to do something. He doesn't like to be awakened up on his own. He watches everything like a melech, but he doesn't get involved. Hashem created a yetzer hara. This yetzer hara is an annoying creation. He nudges us and bothers us 24/7. And then we have a yetzer hatov who's the real king. He has more power than the yetzer hara. He's fiercer and stronger and mightier. The problem is, Hashem says, he likes to rest. He likes to bathe in the sun. You know who has to wake him up? You know who has to poke the bear? You know who has to poke the lion? That's your job. But if you poke him and you wake him up, the yetzer hara has no chance against him. The yetzer hara has nothing against him. You woke up the beast. That's the way Hashem created the world. If we feel, where's the yetzer hatov? Where's the sleeping lion? You know what? You didn't wake him up. He's sleeping. All you got to do is poke him. And when you poke him, your life will change. All of a sudden, next to you, you're going to have a lion, and you're going to feel like you're the king of the jungle, and nothing's going to stop you. But Hashem doesn't give that out for free. You know why? Because Hashem wants us to take the action. Hashem doesn't want the yetzer hatov to take the action. Because then why is it my credit? If I have a guy nudging me all day to do good and to wake up early and to go to shiurei Torah and to do the right thing, why is it my credit? I didn't do anything. So the yetzer hara will go to Gan Eden. He'll get all the reward. Hashem says that's not the way I play the game. The way I play the game is, I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to give you a weaker hand, but you got to work for that hand. You got to work for it, but you got to do something to show me that you chose me. You got to wake up that lion and he'll come and save you. He'll come and do everything for you. That's Chodesh Elul. Chodesh Elul, people don't understand, says Rav Blazer, our job is not to conquer the yetzer hara. You could give the yetzer hara a rebuke and you could tell him divrei Torah. He's not going to listen. He doesn't care. It's like talking to the wall. You know what the Torah says? Chazal say, Leolam yargiz yetzer hatov al yetzer hara. What does it mean? Yargiz. Anyone know? Bother. How do you say ta margizoti? What does that mean? You're annoying me. You're making me angry. Leave me alone. What does it talk? What do Chachamim say? You have to annoy the yetzer hatov. Leolam yargiz yetzer hatov. What does that mean? You're going to let him sleep? He's going to continue sleeping and you're going to go down. You got to wake him up. Annoy him. Talk to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I need help. Where are you? Where's this hyena? He's making so much noise. He's ruining my life. It's not fair. What's this lion sleeping? I need help. Pray. Go learn Torah. Go to a shiur. Say slichot. Do something. The problem is most people don't do nothing. And they let this lion, who should be at their side fighting for them and giving them the life they really deserve and they want, they let him sleep their whole life. What's the famous pasuk that we say before Tkiyat Shofar? The Rambam, he says Tkiyat Shofar is a Gzerat HaKatuv. Torah doesn't say why you have to blow the shofar, but he gives us a reason. What's the reason? Uru yeshenim mishenatchem. Says the Rambam, when you have a guy who's sleeping and there's a war, there's missiles flying, you're going to let this guy sleep? What do you got to do? Give him a wake-up call. What's going to wake him up? You're going to whisper in his ear? He's not going to wake up. You have to blast something in his ear. The guy's going to get startled. He's going to scream, what? What'd you do? Why are you You're sleeping. There's a war. Get up. The shofar is that alarm. When you blow the shofar, the purpose of the shofar is to wake someone up. Says the Rambam, I had a friend in yeshiva. He said the whole year we're sleeping, Elul, we're sleepwalking. A guy thinks he woke up, but he's still sleeping. Shofar comes and blasts this guy's ears, and then all of a sudden he's awake. Uru yeshanim mishanatchem, hakitzu nirdamim mitardematchem. Wake up. The chidush is that it's our job to wake up the Yetzer HaTov. The Yetzer HaTov wants to help us. He wants to push us to do mitzvot. We can't let him sleep. That's our job. And the whole purpose of learning Torah is not to beat the Yetzer Hara. He doesn't care about the Torah. The purpose is to awaken the Yetzer HaTov. And once he's awake, that's it. You have a rocket attached to you. You're going to go up. You see sometimes people, they go up. They rise. Mi'aleh ba'ar Hashem. They're climbing the mountain. What? It's because they're so strong? Hashem gives them help. But they seeked it first. They asked Hashem. They cried. They prayed. They did something. Chodesh Elul is our chance to do something. To take that step and not to wait for a freebie to come down. Sometimes we act like we're in the desert. We're waiting for the manna to come down from Shamayim. That's not the way the world is. That was 40 years and never again. Hashem wants us to take action. Hashem wants us to do something. Even the Yetzer HaTov that's there to help us will never take action unless we awaken him first. Because we have to take action. That's what a Jew is. That's a soldier. That's the Yetzer HaTov. There's one other nekuda that I think when I read this maybe 10 years ago, this is one of the things that stuck with me and I don't think I'll ever forget it. It's something in the Sefer called Hachsharat HaAvrechim. And it's from the Rav Mipeshetiana. And he says like this. He says, I'll read a few of the words because it's very important to hear how he says it. Hen yetzer hara kashe yesh lanu. Yeah, we have a tough yetzer hara. Aval kama shekashe hu vekocho shel hayetzer hara rav hu. But as strong as he is, lo kemidat gvurato haraba asher yir'eh bo ha'ish be'emet nimtza bo. He's not as mighty and strong as you think he is. As strong as he is, he's not as strong as you believe he is. He brings a midrash, and he says the Yetzer Hara is like a robber that's weak. You ever saw a robber? What does he do? He puts his hand in his pocket, and he goes like this. What does he want to show? That he has a gun. But it's his finger. He doesn't have a gun. Says Chazal, the Yetzer Hara started up with all the generations. Hashem created the world. Right away, he comes to Cain, he kills his brother. Then we have Dora Palaga. The whole generation builds a tower to go fight a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Who started? The Yetzer Hara made them do it. Then we have Dora Mabul. A whole generation gets wiped out. Everyone goes and listens to the Yetzer Hara. They bow down to him. They kneel to him. And then you have other generations that got destroyed. Sdom v'Amorah. Everyone bowed to the Yetzer Hara. So you would think, look, if he got rid of all these generations, he's really strong. He's mighty. Comes Avraham Avinu. And what does he do to this Yetzer Hara? The whole Dor HaMabul, the whole Dor Palaga, the whole Sdom v'Amorah. No one can beat the Yetzer Hara. He must be warrior. Comes one guy. This old man. Yetzer Hara, he kills him. Why? Says the Midrash, Avraham understood that he doesn't have a gun in his pocket. You know what's there? It's his finger. It's all an illusion. It's fake. It's not real. The power that the Yetzer Hara has comes from your perception that he's mighty. When the guy's walking and he sees the guy in the bank with the gun like this in his pocket, he doesn't actually have a gun. He's not strong. He can't kill you. Your perception that he has a gun is what gives that guy strength. Sometimes someone's really strong, but sometimes you're just afraid. It's not that he's strong, you're just scared of him. You don't know your own power. So all of a sudden you give him this credit and he becomes a warrior. Because you're weak in your own eyes, he becomes strong. Not because he's really strong. Comes Avraham Avinu, a man, a warrior. I'm scared of this guy. Who is this guy? He's sitting there pointing a gun. I'm going to chop his feet. I'm going to show the whole world he's nothing. Avraham Avinu passed all the tests. Everything he passed. Where's this warrior? He wiped out generations. How did one guy get him off? He showed us that it's all an illusion. It's all fake. And he says, the teachers, the rabbis, the mechanchim, who depict the Yetzer Hara as this mighty angel and this warrior, he says they're not doing the right thing. Because when you come to someone and you picture the Yetzer Hara as this mighty warrior, he's an angel of fire, we're just human beings, what do you expect us to do? How are we going to beat him? He says you're setting up people for failure. Because people feel that this guy, this Yetzer Hara, is so strong, they can't really beat him. And guess what? They give up. But it's not because he's strong. You just stole people's power from them. You made the people weak, so now the Yetzer Hara appears strong. But he's not. The opposite is true. You know who's strong? You know who's a warrior? A Jew. A Yehudi has a neshama, chelek Eloah mimal. He has a chelek of the Kadosh Baruch Hu inside of him. And he's scared of some Yetzer Hara? How could the tables turn like this? That's what we need Avraham Avinu for. Avraham Avinu is the first Jew, so he knew what a Jew is. He didn't have a father who was a Jew that he just inherited all this money. He was the guy who came from poverty, and all of a sudden he sees the wealth. Oh, this means something else. Where did I come from? Look at this, it's beautiful. The guy who's born in a Bugatti doesn't know nothing. It means nothing to him because he's used to it. Unfortunately, because we're born Jewish and the Jews have existed for so long, we don't even know. We're born in this body with a neshama that has all the power in the world and nothing can stop us, and we're still here even if the goyim want to kill us, and we withstood the test of time. We're not the warriors. We're the strong people. We came out of Egypt. We went through Amman. We went through Paro. We did everything. And now a guy's going to look in the mirror and say, how can I beat the Yetzer Hara? That's a shit. That's an embarrassment. It's a disgrace for a Jew to think like that. Says the Rav, the Yetzer Hara is not strong. You're just weak because you drained all your power. Elul is a time to reclaim our power. The next time a person feels, I can't, he has to understand that in a certain degree, he's a kofer. He's being kofer. His own power, his own ability, his own kochot. Kofer means to deny. You're denying yourself of your own Judaism, of your own kedusha, of your own neshama. Elul is not a scary time. Elul is the best time in the world. Go to any businessman and you tell him, I have the deal of a lifetime, you can get $1 billion, but guess what? You got to negotiate with this tough guy. Is he going to say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this negotiation? No, he's going to say, oh, I can go and make $1 billion? Okay, I'll deal with this guy, big deal. The jackpot's too high to say, not today. You know what the jackpot is? Our lives. Who we are going to be, we're all young adults. Who are we going to be in 20 years? You know who you're going to be in 20 years? The person you decide to be right now. If you make a decision now, Elul is right around the corner. It could be the next stage of your life. It could be day one of a new person. You know, last year, I went to a place in California. It's called Seoia National Park. You guys ever heard of it? You know those huge trees? The Seoia trees? They're actually unfathomably big. They're huge. You could actually drive a car through it. It's a monster of a tree. Now we grew up over here, we see trees that we think maybe are big, but once you get over there and you see this tree that's the size of the Ezrat Nashim, it's actually bigger, I don't know what, it's massive, and it's all the way going into the sky. You're like, wow, this is a giant. This is a giant tree. Unbelievable. But guess what? If you go to the gift shop in Seoia National Park, they have something for sale over there. You know what's for sale? A baby Seoia tree. The same one you see over there, guess how old it is? It's 2,000 years old. But it started out as a baby. I looked at this tree, I bought it. They have it for sale in a little plastic tube. It's like not even 6 inches. And you say to yourself, where did this sequoia start? It started as a little seed. Here it is, I see it in front of my eyes. If you would go to the person 3,000 years ago and show him that little seed, and you would say, what could grow from this seed? The guy would tell you a sequoia tree? He'd laugh in your face. He'd think you're crazy. That's what can grow from this little seed? No way. But here it is, still in my house. The seed, the little plant, and you always remember where you can go. No one here today can even imagine what you can turn into if you change your life and you decide to dedicate your life to Hashem, to the Torah, to Avodat Hashem. You have no idea what you can become. Right now, we're at this beginning stages of life. We're like that seed that just took root. We just got above the surface. Baruch Hashem, we're learning Torah, and we're praying, and we're doing, but it's zero compared to what we could become if we continue, take step after step for the next 20 years of our lives. What kind of kids we can have, what kind of family we can raise, what kind of grandkids we going to have. It's all dependent on how we choose to live and who we choose to become now. And if a person says, I'm not a sequoia, I'm a little bush, guess what? It's not really because he's a bush. It's because he robbed himself of his own greatness. When you look around and you see big people in this world, doers, people who are conquering the mountain, they're not better than you. They don't have any talents that you don't have. They don't have anything that you're lacking. The only thing that they have is the ability to see a giant tree when it's still 6 inches. The person who could see that sequoia in the 6-inch tree will grow to that sequoia. The person who looks at himself and says, I'm 3 inches, what could I become? You robbed yourself. You stole your life from you. You stole the version you should have became from yourself. No one took it from you. When we look at other people and we see them succeed, when we look at this shiur and we see it's flourishing and it's only going to get bigger and it's only going to get, it's like a wave that's picking up speed. Everyone tells each other, it's going to grow. And then you asked yourself, but where did it start? I remember when that wave was so small. How many people came in the first time? How many people came in the south? But then it became a huge wave. That tsunami is going to wipe out the whole country. We're at that small stage of the wave. Don't keep your wave small, guys. I'm talking to myself also. We are Yehudim. We have a neshama that reaches all the way to Kisei HaKavod. And we're going to keep the wave 2 inches tall. We're going to keep the sequoia 3 inches. Water it. Torah is water. Fertilize it. Pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Connect yourself. We're all huge people. The question is what stage of life we're in. The people who see the greatness within them will grow to be great people. The people who don't see the greatness within them rob themselves of their own greatness. Baruch Hashem, we have good examples in this community. We have people who do. We have people who take action. We all could do more than we think. We all have more power than we believe. And we're all better than we can imagine. And if Hashem sees that we take action, He will strap the rocket to every single person here. To every single person. Don't take the rocket off. Put it on. And you'll reach a level you never thought you could ever reach. Hashem should help us that this Elul will not just be another month. It will be a month that can change the rest of our lives if we decide for it to be. It's all up to us. Don't wait for anyone to do something for you. Don't wait for anyone to save you, to change you, to do anything for you. It's your life. Take action. You have the power. All you need is the courage. And we have someone like Rabbi Ma'or. We can take an example of courage. We can take an example of someone who does. And we should all not just be receivers. Right now we're receiving Torah. But guess what? You receive in order to give. You receive to build yourself up so you'll be the next person who'll give. Don't limit yourselves. And everyone here will reach the sky. Hashem yizakenu, שנזכה בעזרת השם לתשובה אמיתית, נזכה לקרבת השם ובעזרת השם להיות גדולים בישראל.